A sea of red. That's our top story today on the Wall Report. I'm your host, Greta Wall. Wall Street is falling sharply today as the market looks toward key inflation data this week and prepares for an aggressive Fed later this month. All three major indices are down, with the Dow tumbling more than 500 points and falling below 36,000. The Nasdaq, meantime, has also slipped under 15,000 and is down more than 2%. And the S&P 500 is off nearly 2% in today's session. Now, this drop comes after Goldman Sachs analyst released a new forecast saying they expect the Fed to hike interest rates 4 times this year instead of the currently penciled in 3. Now, that estimate comes ahead of the CPI report on Wednesday, which is expected to show inflation rose above 7% last month. Now, that would be the fastest pace of annual price increases in nearly 40 years. Goldman's chief economist said they expect rate hikes in March, June, September, and December. At 0.25% each, that would total a full 1% hike in rates just in 2022. Now, the group also expects the bank to begin its balance sheet reduction in July, up from previous expectations for December. Now, this inflation and rate hike expectations are boosting Treasury yields today. The 10-year note rose above 1.8% this morning. In addition to this week's inflation data, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is set to testify in the Senate Tuesday as he appears for his confirmation hearing. The chairman was renominated for the post back in November. You can expect that hearing to focus a lot on inflation and the Fed's plans to tackle it, as the labor market appears to be pretty much recovered at this point, as good as it's going to get. And as Treasury yields rise, tech stocks are still getting hit the hardest in this market. Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation ETF is down another 4% or more today. The fund is now more than 49% off its February 2021 high. And Wood herself is feeling the heat. In a new video, she told investors that ARK funds make up more than half of her individual retirement account and a significant part of her net worth. She also criticized some of the recent market moves, including the rally in automotive stocks since the start of the year. Now, Ford is up 13% year to date, with GM rising more than 3% so far this year. Those stocks have rallied on some electric vehicle announcements, but Wood is calling it ridiculous. She pointed out that electric vehicles make up just 2% of the traditional automaker sales, saying, quote, "What if the other 98% or so are on their way out as the consumer preference shifts toward electric?" She predicted that new car sales will not recover to pre-pandemic levels, saying, quote, "I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of the companies loses money next year." And cryptocurrencies are back in the red today after seeing some recovery over the weekend. Bitcoin dropped below 40,000 this morning, but has since bounced and is trading around $41,000. Meantime, Ethereum dropped below 3,000 briefly before pulling back just above that level. In the past 24 hours, the global crypto market cap is down 2% to $2.02 trillion. Now, crypto-related stocks are also down today, with Coinbase falling nearly 5%. Bitcoin is off more than 40% from its all-time high at 69,000 back in November. And while the broader market is down, it's hard to find these green stocks, but there are some that are still rising today. Mobile gaming company Zynga is one of them, surging more than 44% on acquisition news. Video game company Take-Two Interactive announced today it will buy Zynga for $12.7 billion. Take-Two said it will purchase all outstanding shares at $9.86 apiece, a 64% premium from Friday's closing price. Now, the deal is a mix of cash and stock for current shareholders. It's expected to close by June 30th, pending regulatory and shareholder approval. And while the broader market is pretty much completely focused on inflation and interest rates, vaccine makers are still focused on Omicron. Moderna's CEO said his company is working on a booster shot to target Omicron specifically, which will enter clinical trials soon. He said the updated booster will likely be used in the U.S. this fall. Now, Moderna shares are up sharply today after the company released a strong product sales outlook for the year. The pharmaceutical giant says it has signed advanced purchase agreements for more than $18 billion in sales this year. That's up from their estimate of $17 billion back in November and higher than the $17.5 billion total in 2021. Now, the company is also in active talks for more COVID vaccine contracts this year. And the U.S. is now averaging more than 700,000 new COVID cases per day as Omicron does continue to spread. There were 4.9 million new cases confirmed last week, with the latest data showing about 138,000 COVID patients are hospitalized. It's no joke that it feels like literally everyone is getting it at this point. So, have you had it? Let me know in the comments. I had COVID myself back in August. Delta got me. So I've got my fingers crossed that I can avoid Omicron for now. Pretty realistic about it, though, that I'll probably get it eventually. With that, I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Good luck out there in this treacherous market. I'm sending my condolences to all of you as you try to find some bright spots. Be sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell before you go.